Do you remember all those protests in Hong Kong before COVID? People rising up, pro-democracy, students rising up. Guess what put them all indoors? Guess what China wants the most? Hong Kong is Helena Troy for China. China wants to fuck Hong Kong bad. Her beauty is fucking nice. It's a great city that the British handed over to China under one condition. They remain semi-autonomous. And China says, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. One China. One China. And we say, yeah. Nah, just shut up. Every year we ignore it. They ain't gonna do shit. China gets more powerful. Starts clamping down a little bit more with their allies in the government in Hong Kong. Then the next thing you know, COVID hits. And all those protesters go inside. And during the pandemic, China coincidentally passes a quote-unquote new security law. And let's take a look at that security law. Let's take a little peek. Do you guys want to have a peek? I'll try to read this in Mandarin. Okay, Hong Kong security law. Now, you guys don't know about this stuff because you're in America and all that matters is who Jake Paul's fighting next. But here is what the new law's key provisions are. And this is what it means for the citizens of Hong Kong. Friend and ally to the West. Coveted by China. The CCP China. I'm not talking about Ali Wong Chinese. I'm talking about CCP. So when I say China, I'm talking about the Communist government of China, not my good friend Ali Wong and her sister and brethren. John McCavey was found dead with poop in his mouth. Comment roulette. Someone's just posting Israeli flags over and over again. That train is never late. We're talking about Hong Kong, and somehow someone in my comments is trying to tie that to the Jews. I mean, because being the head of the class, you're just going to get hate from the back of the room. And Israel and the Jews have always been head of the class. Emphasize education, good at shit, and they're always fucking raising their hand and being a little annoying. And the back of the class is just always going to throw spitballs at the back of your yarmulke. Yarmulkes just get lit up with spitballs by the fucking stupid kids in the back. It's very funny that there's a kid in here. I'm talking about Hong Kong. And somehow he's trying to communicate to me through emojis that somehow Israel's behind this. Okay. So, am I being clear that I'm not for that conspiracy? Okay. We got to do a segment called Ask a Jew, meaning like, am I cool? Am I not anti-Semitic? I'm friend. When I die, I want on my tombstone to read Yannis Pappas, a.k.a. Yanni Longnase, friend of the female comedian, friend of trans women, friend of the Jewish people, friend of the Muslim people, not friend of the CCP. Friend. So, crimes of secession, subversion, terrorism, collusion with foreign forces are punishable by maximum sentence of life in prison. Provision number 1. Provision number 2, damaging public transport. There will be no graffiti, even political or otherwise. That will be considered terrorism. Did you hear that, Jess? So if you want to go bomb with RD in Hong Kong, it's considered terrorism. That's not extreme. Those found guilty will not be allowed to stand for public office. Okay, that's a little something. Beijing will establish a new security office in Hong Kong. Oh, hello. So, hi. We're coming. Switzerland, Austria. Hello. I am pontiff for mein Führer. We're just coming here to the country, just kind of look around and just oversee what's happening. Don't worry, we're not looking over your shoulder, just a little something. We're just coming a little bit here. Oh, hi, hello, it's Hungary. We're just some Germans just going to look around for the real estate prices. No big deal. No big deal. So, obviously, I'm showing where we've heard this type of stuff before. So, Beijing has established, I'll just read this with a German accent. No security office in Hong Kong. Visits no law enforcement personnel, neither of which would come under the local authorities' jurisdiction. Now, for the Franks and Beans followers, of which there are many, listen to this podcast. What that means is China is bringing its own law enforcement personnel. Those would be called the SS in the 1940s. And they are not subject to Hong Kong's local authorities' jurisdiction. Meaning, if some Hong Kong cop goes, stop, you can't do that to the child. You can't shoot him. They go, sorry, I work for mein Führer. So, the offices also can send some cases to be tried in mainland China. Okie dokie. But Beijing said it will only have that power over just a little number. Just a tiny number of cases. Nothing big. Don't worry, United States. Don't worry, England. Don't worry, NATO. Don't worry. Just a small amount of cases we'll take back to mainland China where they will never be heard from again. And will be sent with the Uyghur Muslims to fucking mine child hearts and rhino horns. In addition, Hong Kong will have to establish its own National Security Commission to enforce the laws with a Beijing-appointed advisor. Hi, my name's Pontius Pilate. I work for the Caesar, and I run shit now. Hong Kong's chief executive will have the power to appoint judges to hear national security cases. Wow. So, hey, your name is Pointing at? You were a judge? Get out. Get out. What are you talking about? Get out. I'm a judge. Get the fuck out. I have orders from mein Führer that you now work at the Panera Bread. Enjoy. Hong Kong likes Western business. Go hand out buzzers at Panera Bread in Hong Kong Avenue. You're no longer a judge. Here's a new judge from China. I mean, how is this not bigger fucking... How is this not talked about on every fucking podcast? Is it because people are too busy talking about Tony Hinchcliffe saying the C word? Which he shouldn't have done? Or are we too busy talking about trans fucking women power lifters? Are we listening to these provisions? Do I get too loud sometimes? It's a symptom of my tumor, which a fan said they don't want Jesse to ever take me to the doctor to get the tumor shrunk because the Come On Biden segments are too good. So they want my cancerous tumor in my head to grow just for their entertainment. Importantly, Beijing will have power over how the law should be interpreted. Not any Hong Kong judicial or policy body. If the law conflicts with any Hong Kong law, the Beijing law takes priority. I mean, China has taken Hong Kong what you call surreptitiously. Look the word up. This is what they've wanted to do. This is what they said they were going to do. And they're so smart and savvy now, they did it in a way where everyone's got their fucking head in their ass while it's happening. And coincidentally, this security law took effect during COVID. And COVID originated in Wuhan, where there was a coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Don't ban me, Facebook. I'm just saying what Jon Stewart said. Some trials will be heard. This is a good one, Jess. You're going to like this one because you have a brain. Here's another provision. Some trials will be heard behind closed doors. I mean, this is too good. Right under our nose. People suspected of breaking the law can be wiretapped and put under surveillance. What's the Dallas? What's the Dallas? People don't really understand the importance of Hong Kong as an outpost for Western democracy and a foothold for the West in the East, and how much that bothered China, and how much China wanted Hong Kong, and how much now they've taken it. while we were busy making sure grandma didn't die in Louisville, Kentucky. Management of foreign non-governmental organizations and news agencies will be strengthened. The law will also apply to non-permanent residents and people, quote unquote, from outside Hong Kong who are not permanent residents of Hong Kong. So what that means for my Franks and Beans fans, which all of which we are, is that if you're visiting Hong Kong on vacation, right? Let's say you met a girl on Raya because you're some sort of fucking influencer and you went to Hong Kong to fuck her. And while you were staying with her, you didn't know that her apartment was wiretapped by the new judges that were implemented by this new security law via Beijing's allies in Hong Kong and Beijing, and her fucking apartment was wiretapped. Not only did they find out that you can't make her come good, they also found out that you had a conversation about how the West is the best and how China is murdering Muslims. Can you put your passcode in?
Franks and Beans.
Guess what happens to you? You become one of those very tiny fraction of cases that get extradited to Beijing for adjudication. Doesn't matter if you're a U.S. citizen, a British citizen, or a Swede on holiday. I'm just a Swede on holiday. I have a month off. We don't really work. We have healthcare. I'm just a Swede. My name is Magnus. And I'm a Swede here. I'm going to Thailand next. I'm going to Thailand to get sun. So then when I turn 40, I look like I climb Mount Everest for a living because only Swedish people beautiful till 40. Because we drink so much, we turn translucent, have heart attack, and die from depression from no sun. You go to Beijing for adjudication. So, why am I talking about this? Well, because what just happened was they just shut down a pro-democracy paper, right? Which was our previous leader's dream to do to CNN. So, via this new security law, a very pro-democracy newspaper in Hong Kong was just shut down. Finito. Done. Like stand-up comedy. Over. A lot of the weekends are going to YouTubers. The era is over. Hong Kong's autonomy is over, Johnny. You've been usurped by the CCP. So, hats off to the CCP.